All right, what up? It's Cool Water again and again and again. This is an off-topic podcast for me because I'm just really frustrated and flustered at relationships as it pertains to African American people. That's where I'm speaking from. You know, I've had interaction with other women, some white women, and conversation with Arab women and things of that nature, but mainly I've always dated African American women. So this podcast is going to be based off that because I think it's a level of conversation that needs to be had because it's a lot of ignorance flying around. It's a lot of selfishness going around. It's a lot of envy, jealousy, hate, all the in-betweens that go along with being involved with someone. And because I'm not biased towards however you feel about what I say, I'm going to say what needs to be said, and you can take it how you want to take it. So let's picture this. We all start out at an early age, 5 years old, somewhere in there, 3 to 5, preschool, kindergarten, elementary school. Boy meets girl, girl meets boy. And as we go out into the world, we begin to interact with people. We learn behaviors and we learn to deal with the opposite sex by natural instinct, just off of nature versus nurture. You know, your natural instincts tell you how you should deal with man or with woman. God just put it in you. It's innate. You can't turn it on. You can't turn it off. If you are into heterosexual activity, then somewhere along the line, you're going to get attracted to someone of the opposite sex. It's just what it is. So in elementary school and preschool, you know, children play together, boys and girls play together. They become friends. They become enemies. They become, I guess you could say, buddies to a degree. And as you get older, especially the woman, as she gets older, she learns and develops certain behavioral skills that allows her to know that if I act in a certain manner, I can get certain things. A lot of little girls grow and become spoiled as they get older, and mainly a lot of the times it's because their daddies spoil them, and you know, you're a little princess, and you know, this is my baby girl, which we all understand. As time moves on, she begins to start to see the world in a different manner and becomes more adapt to social changes around her that gives her some inclination that, you know what, there's something about me that's exceptionally different than everybody else on the planet. Animals, the male species, insects, things of that nature. And even in nature, female animals, insects also play a certain, I guess you could say, a game to a degree so that they can obtain the things that they need. And as she starts to develop, going through elementary school, and then she, you know, comes to see little boys she likes. Sometimes she throws temper tantrums and gets a little upset because, you know, he didn't give her the milk, or he didn't give her the pencil, or he didn't give her a piece of paper, or he likes another girl. So she uses her female power to begin to make the male move in the direction that she wants him to move in. And as she slides into middle school, she starts to know that, oh man, you know, I got a little something, you know, My buttocks is growing bigger. My breasts are growing bigger. My face is becoming more defined. And I'm getting cuter and more attractive to the opposite sex. As she turns on the TV, she begins to see things and see people in entertainment and in politics and in journalism that redefines what she knows to be true. I'm a female and I can have it all. I'm a female and I can get what I want. I'm a female and I can make the male species cater to my liking, cater to my needs, my behavior by doing certain things, acting a certain way, throwing temper tantrums whenever it needs to be done. And as she graduates from middle school and she heads into high school, this time she's starting to understand that, man, I have certain gifts, certain attributes that no other species really has. Number one, because I can think, I have a way of being manipulative, using my cognitive ability to be able to coerce people to do what I want to, and I'm attractive, and I have a certain energy about me that people want to gravitate towards. Now, with that being said, as she goes through high school, she starts to interact with boys at a different level. Now, the sexual energy is heightened. The ability to, even in middle school, produce babies is upon her. And as the man becomes more aware, he starts to try to go to great lengths to capture the female, to conquer, to hunt, to go after her in a manner that will subdue her so that she will become his prize, his trophy piece, if you will, his confidant, his, sometimes you can say later on in life, his concubine. And she learns that through society as a whole, if I act and behave in certain manners, in a certain manner, I can acquire what I would like to have. I am a woman, a female, a young lady, and I can get anything that I set my mind to because I have pussy power. And pussy power is the most powerful of power that one individual can have and obtain. Nations have been destroyed as a result of it. Kings have been brought down. Strong men have lost their lives behind pussy power. So as high school goes on, she dates and she gets a boyfriend, and as she gets a boyfriend, there's days when he don't act right and she can throw a temper tantrum and she can get him to do her bidding, her will, whatever that case may be. And if she is sexually active at a very young age, 13, 16 through, they say 13 to 17, then she knows that she has even more power, because at this point the boy becomes under a spell that sometimes he may not be able to get out of or control or have some level of consciousness about. So going through preschool to high school, young ladies learn what they can obtain through female energy, through pussy power, through the imminent power, imminent presence of being a woman, a young lady or a little girl that can bring about the things that they would like to get, the things that they would like to have as they go through their educational years. Then once they graduate from high school, when they head to college, at this point they seasoned, they done heard all the game, they know all the tricks of the trade. They've seen society put women on pedestals, on magazines, on trophies, in swimsuits, in pornos, and things of that nature. And as time rolls on, she knows that she is God at the end of the day. She knows that she can use whatever her attributes are to obtain what her attributes are, until at some point in the future she meets a man who also figured out what his attributes were and what his abilities were and what his male proudness is. If I'm saying that word right, I may be pronouncing it wrong because I know it like the back of my hand, but his power is and what he can do. So now it becomes a war of words, a war of submission, a war of behavior, a war of psychology, and now the art of seduction kicks in because somebody has to fold in order for somebody to be the victor. So in college, you go through and she meets many men, and because she's very attractive, many men pursue her. Some reap the rewards of having sexual intercourse and intimacy with her. Some reap the rewards of just being able to get the conversation out of her. Some reap the rewards of becoming AKA a sugar daddy or a sucker because he want to pay her bills and he, feels as though this is going to be the ticket. This is going to be what's going to allow him into her personal space so that he can gain some level of power and control over her. And little do he know, the black widow spider continues to eat one male after the other, and she spits him out and wraps him up in a web and moves on to the next. And as we go through life, men chase women, women chase men, but at the end of the day, the woman seems to always have a little more power than the man because the man has not quite figured out what his role is in society. He has not learned about himself. Women get a better understanding about themselves because at the end of the day, they have babies and babies come from their bodies and they have menstruations and cycles and things of that nature that puts her in tune with who she is and the power that she holds. But we as men, we don't really have that, so to speak, in regards to dealing with our inner self, our yin and our yang, our positives and our negatives, so to speak, like a woman does. So relationships come about and we all date and we continue to date. And as we date and we find out that we can't always have what we want and can't always get what we want, then that leaves us in limbo. It leaves us uneducated. It leaves us with a lingering and a hunger for figuring out the why. What is it that I need to do to control this other person, to be able to get this other person to submit to my will, to submit to my power, to submit to my ideologies and my philosophy. So, which brings me to the present, because once you graduate from college, you've come in contact with many men, and many men have came in contact with many women, and many women feel as though, because they still carry the little girl mentality, the childlike mentality, the elementary school, the middle school, the high school mentality, that they should always be catered to and served because they are the female. They are the weaker species, and the weaker species should always be protected and nurtured so that at the end of the day, it arrives to give them whatever it is that they're looking for. But at the end of the day, sometimes women, because they are so into themselves, do not take it upon themselves to study the man, study the male species, study his role in society, his role in life, his total makeup. And when we men find out who we are, then we stop falling victim to this, the magic that women hold over us, the magic that they can cast spells on us and make us do their bidding through the coochie. We get beyond that. When you reach a certain level, reach a certain plateau in your educational relationship process. I'm gonna stop right here. I'm gonna come back and pick it up.